Hi, in this video I want to showcase a few inconsistencies you can observe while exploring the user interface of Microsoft Paint. So Microsoft Paint has been redesigned with Fluent theme in mind, and when you look at it, it looks consistent in the very beginning, as there are myriads of buttons. None of them show their boundaries until we do a mouse hover or mouse over them. But when you look more clearly on specific details, you will start to notice a lot of inconsistencies. For example, uh, these buttons, they have very much the same behavior when you do a mouse hover. There is a boundary, there is a color highlight, I believe there is some shadow here involved, and that's fine. But it happens here, it happens here, it even happens here and here, right? But when you click on one of, and like notice this, is when you click here, you have a contextual menu here, right? So when you hover mouse, there is the same behavior as in here. And when you hover and click, a contextual menu appears and everything looks fine. Very similar to this one. But when you click on one of these flip buttons, you can see that user interface here is very different. It's not the same. First, this look and feel belongs to very early versions of Fluent theme in Windows 11. Second, when you click on it, it doesn't look like the button is clicked. The contextual menu appeared, it's right, but this button is no longer clicked, it's no longer toggled. Even so here, it feels like it's toggled until it's not. Another detail is when I click here, this little arrow now looks up, and when I click again, it will look down and the button will be unclicked. But in this case, this button never changes behavior, it's the same. That's not all. We have this button, which when clicked allows you to perform actions on the surface of the canvas. And when you click here, you can change the behavior of the button. Okay. Same here, you have the brush button and you have this small arrow here. Everything looks fine. But let's go to stickers. So the stickers UI, when you do a mouse over, is similar to this one. And this is inconsistent because it looks a lot like the button on here, like the brushes button. And now this behavior looks the same as in those icons, but this button is no longer toggled in, so you don't know if it's pressed or not. And this arrow is not turned up either. Okay, so these buttons are okay, but when we click on one of these buttons, they behave the same way as these buttons, but not like these buttons, which is again strange. And here it's even more interesting. When you click on it, it has behavior very similar to this button, for example. But when I click on it, it doesn't say that it's clicked, and the arrow doesn't look up. So again, inconsistency. Same with Copilot button. And this Copilot button has the same story. When you mouse hover it, it looks like the flip buttons and shape outline and shape fill. But again, arrow doesn't look up. The button doesn't look like it's clicked. So that's a problem. And yeah, this is a perfect example of how inconsistent the user interface of a modern application is. One of the things that is quite annoying as well. So imagine that you want to do a vision-based probing of this user interface. So you want to know what each element is all about without going to automation APIs. So most of the applications have been designed to show tooltips, right? And they designed an entire experience waiting during mouse hovering. and waiting for those those tooltips to appear, right? But when you go to the compile button, it has no tooltip. But when you do mouse over the area with compiled, there is a tooltip. But there's no tooltip on the colors, shapes. There is a tooltip on the stickers, so they have the same UX and stickers as in compiled, which kind of looks logical, at least because these buttons behave the same. But then you have brushes and they have a tooltip. While tools do not, image doesn't, selection has a tooltip, and layers have a tooltip. And this is just an example of how inconsistent a stock application built into Windows 11 looks like. Now imagine just how much more complicated are industrial applications that have decades of software updates, revisions, and bug fixes brought by different teams and redesigns in their history.